Hello, and welcome to episode 178 of Quarkus Insights. So we're going to be doing a Quarkus Web Lab. Well, we're going to be doing the first part of a Quarkus Web Lab, talking about CMS. And we've got some guests. We've got Matheus Cruz and we've got Andy Damevin. But first, I think before we do guests and intros and everything, I get to click the news button, which is my favorite part of the thing. So we've got news. What news have we got?
Yes, we do. Let me just share my screen here. So, for those who know, Quarkus is working on moving to a foundation, to a common house more specifically. But that is actually just a part of the work of trying to be more transparent and engaging to people. And so I just wanted to highlight for those who might not notice, because it's not like it's visible on the page, but we have this new page on the community called Working Groups. And these are different areas where there are someone or some group of people, and group can be, I think, 2 to 10 or something. It's a current range. But the idea is that we've just multiple times had this, like, we had a roadmap that everyone was like manually keeping up to date, that never was up to date. So instead, we kind of moved to this idea of having these areas that we're working on that people then can either observe and follow what's going on, or they can come and know, hey, I want to help in Quarkus, which area is moving right now, and those should be the ones on this list here. Not everything is here, but like the high levels are supposed to be there over time. Um, so anyway, I just wanted people to be aware. And if you go on these, so for example, the one that is I'm currently mainly looking at is this the 315 LTS, and you go in and you can see them being discussed. And there's comments, etc. You can see where things are. As things progress, we will probably also set up more formal conversations and chats about these. But just wanted people to be aware of the working group stuff on the website. So yeah, that's the news. I think we mentioned it before, but we keep mentioning it until we get tired of it.
That's
So
cool.
so yeah, cool. That was it. That was the little piece of news we had.
Cool. So I think we can probably go on and introduce our guests then. So shall we start with you, Matthias?
Perfect. Thank you, Holly, Max, and Andy. I'm Matheus. I'm from Brazil. I'm software engineer here, and I'd like to thanks to Andy and support me in this open source journey. I'm very happy to contribute with some things with Quarkus and Quarkverse extensions. And okay, this is all. I have a blog, matheuscruz.dev, and feel free to see and comment. And okay, just it. Thank you.
Thank you, Matheus. I'm Andy Damevin. You saw me a few times already on Quarkus Insight, mostly about web stuff. That's normal. I've done a lot of extension in that area, like Quinoa, the web bundler, and now starting Rock. That is a static seed generator, and Matheus has been contributing a lot on that one, and I think that's a bit how we ended up doing that lab with him. He's doing a great job in that part. What else? I think that's pretty much it. And yeah, you do an excellent job, Matheus. You deserve being here.
Thank you.
Cool. So what have you got for us today? Who's going first?
I will go first. So we have a lab. This is quite a new way of new format for Quarkus Insight. I think we never did a lab live, but we thought, okay, why not try it? The cool thing is that people can try to do the lab while we're doing it, if they want.
Cool.
I can give you the link now if you want, so that people can go while I'm talking. So web lab. 1 second, I will give it to you. Up. Where is our private chat? Here it is. Up. So you have the link. This is the link to the first part. So let's assume that you have your ID set up and your Quarkus set up. If you don't, then I advise you to do it later. Let me continue. So the idea of this lab, can you show my screen? So the idea of this lab, it's in 3 parts. In the first session of Quarkus Insight, we'll do the part 1, which is a back office where you manage blog posts. It has a DB. It's based on Renarde for the view and Hibernate for the storage. And it stores things on the DB that is hosted locally. The second part will be about reading those blog posts and using Qt, like just raw Qt to serve those blog posts. We will use Rock. Rock is the static seed generator. So it's pretty new and it's not yet known by people, but we will have a small glimpse of it today. Not today, in the next session, to generate a static website from our Quarkus blog. The static blog could be pushed on GitHub pages, for example, because those are just HTML and JavaScript. And the last part will be about doing a full stack microservice, a full stack microservice, yes, that will integrate in that static website to show commands. So that will be the third part. The idea here is it's not like an app that you could do in real life, I think, but that show you different part of Quarkus and different tools that you could use for your own projects. I think that's the most important here, so that when you have a problem to solve, you know where to go.
And I just want to say, like, I think today is the stuff that is already there, and the next one with the rock it's called experimental, right? It's like fairly new and.
So for the rock part, we don't. The only part we use is the generator. We are not using the what to call it, the front matter and the data part that are all new. We just use a generator, which is something that extracts any Quarkus app to some static website. So this part is not very experimental, because in the end, you're just generating HTML and script, so putting it to production has no risk.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me show you what we will do today. So we will code this CMS where you can you have an editor for markdown where I can use different things like hello. I can use bold and different things in markdown, and then I can edit my title, web component here, and save. So now it's saved. If I refresh, it's still here because it's persisted. And here you can create new posts. And so this is a small CMS made with Quarkus. This is what we're going to do in this session. Not me, but Matheus. Oh, sorry. Can you switch to Matheus' screen?
Yes.
All good?
Opa, thank you. Okay, this is the CMS. Feel free to clone this project and try it. I will develop this CMS with you, and feel free to make questions. And I will do this so slowly. Okay, and we can start this one from scratch using code quarkus.io, but I prefer to use this application. We have here some extensions installed, and let's do it. I will clone this project, but before I will start this one and fork this project.
Everybody doing the lab should definitely start it. Most important part.
That's smart.
Okay, let's clone this one. and I don't know, Quarkus Web Lab, and go to CMS. Okay, we have some other project. I open my IDE here. Trust. And okay, we have the project here. Perfect. We have here some extensions, and if you want to talk about it.
Yeah. Can you switch 1 second to my screen? Sorry, Oli, forgot something. All good?
Perfect.
Okay. Just for the extension we're going to use, since some people might not know it, Qt is a templating engine, and it's made for Quarkus. We will use Renarde, which is for model view controller in Quarkus. It's also using Qt. We will use Maven PM, which is a wrapper on top of npm, so that you can use any npm package like any other Maven dependency. Maven PM work really well with Quarkus because we have the web bundler, which is the next part. And the web bundler is an extension for Quarkus that allow you to use Maven PM extension and also provide your script or styles, CSS, SCSS, TypeScript, and it will bundle them as a production-ready JavaScript and make it really easy to use them in your app. Okay, I think, yeah, that's it. We can continue with Matheus.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, then we have here these extensions, Hibernate, Panache, and Renard, like Andy mentioned, and WebBunder, Quarks Arc, or AM, and Maven PM. Okay, just it and the unit. And let's start. Let's see our CMS here. One moment. The step by step. Perfect. Okay. Let's start our application first. I can use Quarks dev. I am using the Quarks version. Let me see here. It's very slow, my computer. I don't know. But we can use two Maven Quarks dev to execute the application. Okay. Let's
okay,
wait a moment.
While it starts, can you go on the README? Yeah, Quarkus is really slow today, right? Or is it your machine?
It's something about streaming always kills my computer too.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah. So the thing about Renard is that it's model view controller. So the first part we will see is the model. And for the model, we have a blog entry. And this blog entry is a Panache entity. This is where we will store our different blog posts with titles, pictures, content, which will be markdown, the date when it was published, and the picture for it. Is it started? Or maybe do you have the ID to show us
let's
that
go
model?
to the ID. Yeah. Let's open
so
here.
In the source main Java, you should have a model package. Yeah. And here you have your blog entry. So perfect. Yeah, this is just a normal Panache entity. If you don't know about Panache for Quarkus, I strongly advise you to see one of our Quarkus insights about it, or to look at our docs. We have very good documentation. Okay, can you switch back to the README? Oh yeah, I think we can have a glimpse at the application.proper.
Perfect.
Okay, so here we configure our server to start on 9090. We set something about HTTP form limit because since we're using Markdown, those are really big files. So it's important to set that side. We're telling the Hibernate to store using H2 on the file system, and to be able to update the schema automatically. And then we have a few web bundler settings which are here to say, okay, we want to import automatically all the web dependencies that are added, and we want to use Qt tags, which is a feature we will use today. Okay, we can go back to the README.
Perfect.
Oh,
Now
it started. Okay, maybe you can open in the browser to see.
Let's press W to open the browser and open it in another tab, but I can move to this. Okay, this is our blog post. CMS.
Yeah. So yeah, we said we started. We didn't start from scratch, but as you can see, you don't have a lot.
It's very empty. But let's implement this one. How Andy mentioned it, we have the model, and let's go to the startup.java. Is an important class here in your project. The startup.java.
So the startup.java, in here we're doing what we do in import.sql. So instead of all this SQL syntax to add development entries in your DB for development and test, we're doing it through code. So that's the exact same thing. The only difference is that it will add them at startup. So we're adding a few blog posts so that we can start developing. All good.
Perfect.
We can continue.
Okay. That's okay. Then the startup.java, and let's implement the first feature. Let's list all our blog entries. Then to do it, let's implement this one. List all sorted by publisher. We can use blog entry. Panache provides some methods for us, but my IDE is very slow. Okay, list all and list and count. Let's use the list all, and we can sort by, in our case, by publisher, and we can see from the first one first. Okay, and descending, and okay, but we need to return this. Okay, let's save. Let's see our blog. I will open the ID again. One moment.
So no worries, Matheus, if it's a bit slow, it's all right, because here we need it to be a bit slow so that we can have the time to see what you're doing. So it's perfectly fine.
But okay, my change is here.
Okay.
We have a list of full.
Oh, we still have bugs.
Perfect. Then we changed the model. Now let's change the view. Okay, and how you can see we have a pattern here in Renarde. We have templates, the source, the Jira template, and we have a controller, and we have view. Let's see it in IDE. It's better. Then if I want to create by example, a view here, let's open here and resource templates. Okay, then it's mapped. My CMS is my controller. CMS, my controller, and edit entry is my action, my method here. By example, index is mapped to index. CMS, my controller, and index, my action. Okay, in your case, we want to edit the list entry. I think, let's see here. Yeah, the index. Let's open the index and include the entry list and edit the entry list to see the blog post in this way. Okay, index, we have here, entry list. Perfect.
Just a small comment, Matheus.
Okay.
So for your information, this is made in Renarde and in Qt in general. You can include, you can do template composition. So for example, in the index here, we include the base so that all the boilerplate head and everything is used for all our pages. So if you go in the index now, we can see at the top that we're including the base, setting the title for it. This is done through Qt, and then the content will be what we have added on. Yeah, there. And something important to here is that we're including two things. We have the entry list and the edit entries, which are partials part of the view. And as you can see here, Matheus is in the entry list, which is a for loop over the blog entries. And for now, it was just writing foo, which is what we saw in the view.
Perfect.
Oh, you have auto completion. That's cool.
In this
So
case, tight.
if you're coding with Qt, there are really good thing is if you install the IntelliJ plugin for your IDE, you will have the auto completion. You will be able to navigate through files by command clicking on them, and that's really convenient to do templating. I think this is one of the best things about Qt is that feature that you can like navigate if you were coding in Java. And then you also have the double security that it's compiled and type safe. That's mega awesome.
So nice.
You want to comment about type safe here?
So yeah, the way it's type safe here is that we declare our template by listing the data that will be sent to it. Like here we have a list of blog entry and a current blog entry, which is a blog entry. If you go in the entry list, you can see that we are actually using those. So here we are not using them, but we are declaring, yeah, here, for example, this is automatically detected that this is a blog entry. And if you go in the include, in the entry list, you went in edit entry. Yeah, that worked too, but that's a formula. Can you go in the entry list.html?
Okay.
Yeah, so that one here, you can see that we have the blog entries. So I declared them at the top too, because this file is included. So we need to keep the type safety. I had to declare them at the top. But this is working the same way. And if you tip something wrong, for example, if you tip titles with an S, it will fail that build time. All good.
Perfect. Okay, then let's see our chant here. I will open here to be more perfect. We have
All good.
Our title. Okay.
Hooray.
Yeah, good job, Matheus.
Thank you. Perfect. Let's style this one. Okay. Perfect. We have here the web bundler. Andy, this is your child.
Yeah, so for now, we didn't use the web bundler. It was added as a dependency, but we didn't add the tag in our element to activate it. So let's insert a small tag, which is a bundle tag, to actually have it working. Because while you're copying, I will explain. When you put the tag, it will be replaced by Qt by the script, the inject script and inject style element, and we will see that. So if you refresh now and open your developer console, if you go in elements, in add, so here now you can see that you have a script tag and a style tag that are added. And this is done automatically through the bundle tag. So what the web bundler will do is that it will watch your file system, your script dependencies. When they change, it will generate a new bundle, a production-ready bundle, and change the script tag so that it points to the right script and style. And you don't have to worry about it. It is done for you. It's not magic. Everything is tracked along the way, but it's really convenient.
Perfect. Thank you, Andy. Then let's type this one. We have this bundle tag. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's add another dependencies here. That
So we will add
Maven VM.
Bootstrap. Yeah.
Bootstrap.
So
And Bootstrap
those are
icons.
two. Yeah, those are two dependencies for Bootstrap and for Bootstrap icons. So be careful. Yeah, you added a slash. So as I said, we're watching the file system. So by changing that, as you can see, it's auto-detecting this in the terminal, and it's a bit slow, but it will install. There is no npm install. There is nothing. This is done by Quarkus. It will install them, and let's wait a bit and see what happened in there.
My computer is very slow.
Yeah. Yeah, let's imagine if you were using something else than Quarkus. That would just blow up, right? So here, at least we can see the log going little by little. So here we can see that certain dependencies has been installed, that it generated the bundle. And let's wait for it to be started.
This is just a clever design feature to make sure that everybody else following along with the lab can keep
Yeah,
up.
exactly. Okay, it started. Go
Okay.
back. Don't refresh in your browser. It will be automatic. Yeah, I love
Yay.
that. This is so magic. So the browser now has enabled a new feature thanks to the web bundler. You have the browser live reload. So since the server has restarted with new feature, it just refreshed with all the new features. And here we now have our blog with style.
Let's test this one. I will
Oh
change
yeah.
this to the back.
So we added dependencies, but you can have your own script. So this is a SCSS file that you have in your project, and if you change the color, you can see that the background is changing. Bless you, Holly.
Thank you. I thought I was going to get away with that on mute.
So as you can see, the background is changing live. So just a small note about this. CSS and styles, if you update them, they will be directly applied in your browser. So there will be no page refresh. If you change a template or a script or anything else, it will reload the page, because we don't play with magic JavaScript auto reload stuff. We just refresh the page.
Let's see. Okay.
All good?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's remove this
Let's
one.
go.
Let's continue with our CMS. Perfect.
Yep.
And now let's edit our block entry. Perfect.
So yeah, just a small note, Matheus. So we saw the model, we saw the view, which is the HTML files. Now we guessed that there is something in the middle, which is the controller. We had a glimpse of it, but now we will go in that controller because we want to be able to edit those entries, right?
Yeah. Perfect. Let's do it. We have here the blocking. This is important in the top of class. Okay. And okay, let's do it. The first one is to, one moment, just to add this one, because we need to, the user need to click on this block entry and we be redirected to the edit pagination. Then let's go to edit entry. Sorry, entry list. Yeah, I will add our anchor here. Perfect. Big half and use URI. I will type this again because I would like to see the autocomplete. Perfect. And
so this is a small helper added by Renarde. So you have a URI namespace, and when you tip your controller method, it will translate to the link to it, which is so convenient. So here, if you edit the blog entry with the ID, it will be the link to that method. That's awesome.
Really
Perfect.
cool.
Let's get our blog entry.
Just one second,
Sorry?
Matheus. Can you just go back to sorry. Go back to the CMS controller and revert the code you just added so that we can see what happened with the link first. Yeah, save this. Go back to the browser. So now if you refresh, you shouldn't have to refresh, but since you did some weird thing, we might need to do it. Okay, now if you click on it, what happened? Okay, so now we have a form, but as you can see, we don't have the data because we haven't plugged that yet. That's what Matheus started to do. Okay, let's go.
Thank you. Block entry and find by ID. And okay, an important thing here is the controller that Renard provides for us. We have this base class and we have some methods that we can use in our controller. For example, prepare for error redirect and empty as null, forbidden, bad request, and this one, not found if null. And if null, the block entry from database will redirect to a not found. Okay, let's
we need
use this one.
to comment those methods. So that's important. We need to add comments in there. And I will create an issue after.
Okay, not found if no, and put the object here. And save. Now I will click. Was not necessary to click, but click in here and get started with Quarkus. We have our blog post.
Awesome.
Perfect. And okay. Now let's edit our blog post. We have here the post, but we can edit this one. I need to click this on this and open an editor, but we don't have this. Important part here is the markdown, the Qt components. We can create like a React, I think, components with Qt. Let's use the blog entry. I will show the blog entry here. It's a component, and Qt allows us to create this one. And we have the CSS, for example, the block editor.html. We have here like parameters that we can use to reuse this component, and block editor.js. Okay.
So the idea of Qt components, so they are server-side components. The idea is that you provide some HTML, which will be a Qt tag in the end. You provide some JavaScript, will add some dynamic behavior to your Qt tag and some styles through CSS or SCSS. And then you can use it in your as a server-side component.
Perfect. Then let's use this. Okay. Let's use this one in, let me see, edit entry.html. Here, just put this one here. And block entry. Okay, and we need to add the value. Let's copy because it's very extensive. Okay.
Yeah. That's
and
safe.
block editor, the ID, this ID. Okay, the ID, the name, and the content, the value here. Okay,
Yeah.
then we have the ID here and the name, the content, and the content, the value we get using flash.getContent or current blog entry.content. And let's remove this one because we don't need two contents. Let's see our blog, and we have our component here.
Just remind me, what is the Flash get content that's getting from the session, or what's it actually doing?
So yeah, that's a good question. So we can see it as first we can see it as an error in the ID. So that's a bug in the IntelliJ plugin, and Angelo is working on this. Angelo is our guy for the plugin. And yeah, we shouldn't have an error for the Flash, and we shouldn't have an error for the blog editor. Here they are false positive. The Flash data is some data that is carried over between a redirect of pages, so that, for example, if you send a form with error, when the validation failed, we can keep that data in the Flash and show it in your next page editor so that you see, okay, for example, your name is wrong or your published date is wrong. And it also serves as state, so that if you fail, you want to still keep your title that you entered before. This will be in the Flash data.
So no relationship to Adobe Flash.
No. Thank you. No, this is just some state between pages, so that if you don't lose the data that you entered if you have an error. This is part of Renarde, and this is explained in the Renarde documentation if you want more info on that.
Yeah, and I think it's not just Renarde. It even comes from GSF and a few other frameworks that has it as this.
Okay.
a thing that exists between the redirects.
Yeah.
Ruby on Rails, it says here, is the originator of it.
Good. Perfect. We have our editor here working, but when I click on save, let's see here. Let's change first. Hook and click on save. Let's refresh this one.
And you lost your data.
Yeah.
Who coded that application? Come on.
Let's see what happened here. The first one, no, I do not need this one now. Okay, and let's see here. The block editor, editor entry, and the save button.
Yeah,
I'm
if you look
lost.
at the top, your form here, you can see that the action is calling save block entry at the top. Or if it already, if it doesn't exist, it will call save new entry. Oh, yeah, here you go. You don't have the code.
Then let's implement this one. Edit block entry.
So if the validation failed, you want to redirect to editing that block entry plus the error. This is where we will have the flash data.
Okay, let's add this one. A block entry. Perfect. Sorry. Let's log the first. Okay. To slug.
So toSlug is just a convenient utility method that remove all the capitalization and spaces and everything to make it more like an ID or a URL.
Okay. Block entry.
Nothing fancy.
It's very, very slow. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. At least we have the time to see everything you're typing and everything happening. Okay. Anyway, this is not a fast-paced lab. I think we have plenty of time to finish it, so don't worry.
Yeah. Let's wait.
What does the edit block entry do? If validation fails, it does what to the ID?
The validation failed?
Yeah.
So if validation failed, it will set all the flash data and set all the error in the flash so that when the form re-render in the edit, it can show everything to the user.
Okay. So the edit block entry marks it as invalid and please.
So the validation failed will mark it, and the edit block entry is just throwing an exception so that it redirects to the edit block entry method of your controller.
Okay.
So yeah, that's an important point. Renarde has a convenient way of redirecting. If you just call any method from your controller, it means that it will redirect to it.
Okay, then we have validation failed. Right? Sorry.
No, I'm just saying that's the important thing. It redirects by throwing an exception.
Yeah.
So if you want to make this more or less, at least for my confusing, there'll be an else here, right? Because
yeah. So actually, I didn't want to raise it today, but I have an issue about that. I think this is one of the first issue I created on Renarde, which is that I find this totally confusing. So yeah, it's up to Stefan. I think he really liked that way of doing things.
I think it makes perfect sense. It's just for me, it's a validation, and you want it to escape this stuff. It's just that I would write if validation fails, I would do this, else I do that.
Yep.
That's the problem here. So I think it's just important to note that an exceptional, an error condition gets raised, that they can get turned into a redirect. Yeah. Got it.
All good.
Okay. I have a question for you, Andy, about this one. It's not necessarily a return statement because the edit block entry is an action. What happens behind the scene?
Yeah, I think you will have to ask Stefan for exactly what happened when you call this, because if you, for example, if you control click on your edit, this is just a controller method. So something is happening behind the scene, and I think Stefan has some instrumentation done before and after calling this, so that if he detects that you call another method, it will just redirect to
Perfect.
it instead of going through the code.
Okay, then we have edit block entry here and updated the state. This is very simple way to update the state. Okay, and perfect. Let's try now to save our block entry. Hook and save. Let's see. It's working. It refreshed something. Okay, and this is save it. Okay,
Yeah,
rock.
all good. Good job.
The edit is okay. Let's now edit the create. Save action. Let's implement our block entry here. I will copy this one to save time. And block entry. Okay.
So the idea with this one is to have a check, so that if you add a new blog entry with the same title, we want it to fail.
Okay, we have this one. Save block entry, get block entry, and check this one.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Let's do the save block now. Can you comment about it?
So someone, I see the question from someone asking exactly what we said. So I think this is done through an interceptor in Renarde, yeah?
Thanks, Andy.
Okay, you can continue, Matheus.
Perfect. Okay, the last part is, let's see, find by title, and let's see here, save block entry. Okay, let's implement our save block entry, because before it we need to create a new one. Okay, but the button is not working, I think. Let's implement one. I need to see. Time to show blog posts, editing blogging. Okay, it's okay. Cute components, okay. Sorry. Delete, and the first.
Yeah. Too bad there isn't a way to have checkbox and that just close everything you've done.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it in. Let's see here.
In the view, I suppose.
Index.html. Okay.
Yeah.
Index.html. Okay. We have the link here. In the same way, we can use URI and cms.newBlockEntry. It's very simple. And let's see here and click on post, new post, and we have the post blank. Okay, and now we need to implement our controller. Perfect. Let's see the solution. It's very simple. I will copy to save time again. And CMS, save new block entry. Here.
So this is a pattern. You change the view, you add your method, you implement it. So we try to simulate that in that lab, so that you learn about that way of doing things.
Let's test this one. Do you know rock? The first, let's add this one. Well done. And save. But the save,
yeah, that
is working. Perfect. Let's test the one thing here. Save.
That work. That work.
And finally, we have the delete. Okay, delete block entry. This is just to call the delete. We need to change the view again and change the controller. Perfect. Let's change the controller first. I will copy this. CMS, the delete. We are finding here again, not found if null. This is from the superclass, and delete the block entry and return redirect to the index page. Okay, and if we click on delete here, there is no delete button. Okay, we need to change this on view. Okay, this is on entry list, I think.
Yes.
Where is? One moment.
If you go in the index, go back to the index, and you can
Okay.
command click on entry list here. Just
Edit
stop.
entry.
You had in
No.
edit again.
Okay, here.
There. Good.
Perfect. And let's copy the view and copy the solution here. This one.
So this is a small form for each item on the list that just add a small delete button.
And we have here authenticity token. This is from CSRF.
Yeah, so this is a small tag from Renarde to add all the CSRF stuff. And we also had it in the edit entry before, but we didn't see it. But yeah, this is necessary so that the request pass.
Perfect, thank you. And delete block entry, we have here calling the delete block entry from CMS, the controller, and this is just alert. Do you want to really delete this blog post? And let's see what happened. We have the button here and delete. If I click in cancel, do you know, and delete, I delete it from the database. Okay,
good.
And redirect to the index. I think that this part or CMS is okay.
Congratulations,
it's working.
Matheus.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And yeah, one thing is that all this can be also converted to HTMX for a bit more, so that you don't reload the page between each action, and you can see it in the solution if you want. We implemented the HTMX part in the solution, so if you go in the repository solution CMS, you will have it in HTMX.
That's really cool.
Okay, so the second part will be about showing those blog posts, because now that we have the editor, it will be nice to also have the blog itself. And this is part 2. But it will not be today.
Not be today. No, I'm just thinking, like if someone writes a blog post in the forest, but then we don't have the rendering logic, does anybody see the blog post? So yeah, thank you so much. I think that was a really good idea to do the lab that way, and I think it as a format it worked very well. So yeah, thank you, Matheus, and thank you, Andy. And I think we'll just give it a minute more in case any last questions. Ask something. I think you've got sort of just this is your last chance to ask, and if not, then we can wrap up.
So while people are thinking about their good question, I will give a small note about Quarkus Rock, because as you saw, Matheus is tipping Rock everywhere on his blog post. So Rock is really new, and we try to do what you can do with Jekyll, but with Quarkus. We were a bit pissed that even our blog, like if you go on the Quarkus.io, this is met with Jekyll. And when I was looking at Quarkus, for a while I was thinking we need to be able to do the same with Quarkus, but it took a while for me to find the right angle, because the thing is with dev mode, prod mode, it's hard to know how to make it work. And then I had this discussion with Max, and it all popped up when I thought, okay, we shouldn't do it at build time, the generation part. We should do it at runtime. The only thing is that the runtime will be on your local machine. So if you start a command, it will start the runtime, capture all the pages, and generate the HTML from it. And as soon as I got that idea, everything went pretty fluently, because Quarkus has already all the feature you need to do it. We have the web bundler for the assets and for the scripts. We can use DB if we want. we missed the data part that Matheus provided. So now we have raw data, so that if you want to put some YAML or JSON file for your blog, they will be automatically injected, and you will have them through CDI from your Qt template. So that was the second part that was missing. And then the last part was about allowing to create markdown files so that you can create your blog post through markdown or ASCII doc. And that part we've done pretty recently. So if you take those three things, so the data, the markdown, which is named front matter in the Rock extension, plus the generator part where you can extract any Quarkus website to put it on, I don't know, GitHub pages or Netlify or whatever, then you have Jekyll. So we are pretty close to have something complete working. We actually have a blog page already published on the Rock GitHub. Maybe you can open it, Matheus. I'm not sure if it's your screen that is live.
Okay. Do you mean the?
Yeah. So if you go on
post?
Go on the Rock GitHub repository.
Ah, okay.
So if anyone wants to contribute to it, this is a Quarkus workgroup. So feel free to help us. We have a few big or small feature, whatever you want. And here at the top, you have the link to the blog, if you want. On the top right.
One moment. Here.
Yeah, there. If you click on it, yeah. So there you go. This is a GitHub page. And this is made with Quarkus. So we don't have yet all the feature, but we already have a lot of things. And I think in a few weeks, we will be feature complete to publish your own blog with Quarkus.
It makes so much sense. And you're right that we haven't been able to dog food yet on our Quarkus content. Because, yeah, something like JPEG, it's just not quite there. But
if you go now in the Quarkus Rock, go in the GitHub action. At the top, you have action.
Actions here?
Yeah. And here you have the Quarkus Rock deploy blog CI. So this is the exact same way you do with Jekyll. And if you can see the file, maybe the workflow file.
Where I can.
Or if you click on one action, that works too.
Yeah.
So go down. So you can see that what does it do to create your page? It's calling Quarkus run. So it's just running your app with some environment to say that it's using the Rock generator. And just with that, it will extract your whole Quarkus website and put it in a directory so that you can publish it on GitHub pages. That's it.
Really nice.
Small note is that it's a snapshot of your website. It won't take your DB. It will take the data and render it, but it won't serve your DB, of course.
Yeah, it's the trade-off, isn't it? That you don't have the hassle of maintaining your own server, but you don't have the dynamism that you would get if you maintained your own server.
Exactly. This is like Jekyll, I mean.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Cool. And I think we haven't had any questions, and we've given people lots of time. So I think we can close it out. But again, thank you. Really, really nice demo, and looking forward to going and trying it myself. See you all.
Thank you very much.